I'm Nick Seco from HomeRight Windows and Doors, and we're located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. So we do vinyl replacement windows, we do steel and fiberglass entry doors, we do aluminum storm doors, and we do sliding patio doors, all made by Provia. The windows are a vinyl replacement window, and it could be anything from double hungs to casements to bay and bow windows and everything in between. So when somebody calls in the office and needs an estimate, they get Roxanne on the phone typically, and she would schedule an appointment for me to come out and take some measurements, provide some literature, go through what options we have, and then I would follow up within about 24 to 48 hours with an estimate with all the details of the products as well as the installed price. I find that we're typically much more affordable than the companies that you see advertising on TV or in a lot of other places. If they're spending a lot of advertising dollars, obviously they're passing those costs on to their consumers. You could go to our website at homerightwaynesboro.com, or you could call us at 717-749-4874.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState.
Welcome to Let's Talk TriState, all powered by HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, online, homerightwaynesboro.com. Joining us, my good friend and someone who has been on Let's Talk TriState many times, Williamsport Mayor Bill Green. Mayor, good to see you.
Thank you. Good seeing you. Nice
Pleasure to have you as always, and we've got about basically two things to cover. One of them is a really, really big deal that's been 10 years in the making. Okay. Mm-hmm. Next weekend marks the official dedication of the Springfield Manor.
Yes.
And for those who don't know, the Springfield Manor in Williamsport, Maryland, is the home of General Otho Holland Williams. Now, tell us about the significance of finally bringing that into the ownership of the town.
It's huge. A lot of places know who their founder is and where they lived, but we actually have had the same layout there for years, from 1755. Right. I mean, the building, the original mansion house that the founder of the town lived in, it still stands. It was built by the Ross brothers. It was during the French and Indian War. They moved materials, foods, ammo, and everything up to Fort Frederick, for that. And during the Revolutionary War, it's seen it all. Visits from George Washington, Betsy the Belle of Baltimore, Betsy Bonaparte. Okay. So I mean, everybody of that time that was somebody was pretty much through that property.
And the amazing thing is, you mentioned it early on, the founder of the town. Typically, those towns. I shouldn't say typically. Probably in a lot of cases, those towns become historical sites and can be visited. Usually they're used as the museum of the town history in a lot of ways. But for the longest time, that property was not in the hands of the town.
No, and I wasn't the first mayor to attempt trying to bring that into the town. John Slayman was mayor for a lot of years, and he was trying also. Okay. He managed to get the barn and the tenant house, that part of Springfield. Yeah. But the rest he just couldn't get, and it was a lot of it's financial reasons.
Now, did the previous owners, did they keep it more or less period accurate?
Maybe half and half. Okay. The original properties are all there when you look at them from the outside. Right. The insides had a few changes. Okay. Insulated windows and those type of things.
Sure. Now, now that you've taken ownership, have there been efforts to bring it back to period authentic?
Conversations have happened, with what the town eventually wants from it, because part of this plan was creating it as a destination for people to come to. So some of the ideas floating around are dining and lodging, and the distillery becoming more like a bed and breakfast type thing. Okay, yeah. So it's got a lot of options. I mean, and keeping the history on the outside. Like if you did do dining and lodging, at least from the outside it looks like that. You can still have all your property there. It's pretty close with the barn being part of it. It's like 15 acres of land.
Oh, it's a sprawl. It's huge. It's wonderful, and it's so picturesque, just perfect for a venue of any type, really.
It is, and we've purchased it in February, in the middle of February. We picked it up. We were able to with the help of the state of Maryland. So it wasn't town funding, right? And we were able to get it, and we've spent that time and still to today clearing the property, making it more walkable, more eye appealing. It has there's 7 or 8 deer that stay on the property regularly. There's like 6 ducks, 2 red foxes. There's a red-winged hawk and a turkey buzzard.
Nice.
You know, they're constantly around all of us
Yeah.
while we're out there. So when you get onto the property, it's got everything.
Yeah.
And some of the historians we've been talking to date it back like to prehistoric times.
Wow.
You know,
Very nice.
So
Well, so this dedication is coming up on September 6th, and it's going to include tours of the mansion, tavern, and other structures. Now, what do you hope the residents are able to take away from seeing it up close?
the significance of the property. There was a couple there yesterday that have never seen it, but have grown up in Williamsport.
Yeah.
And them actually laying eyes on it, and they just fell in love with it. You know, they were just like, this has been here my whole life, and I've never.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, just realizing it's there and the historical significance to it.
Well, I think because it hasn't been accessible.
No.
It's been private property
Yeah.
for the longest time, for forever, really.
Forever, yes.
And then now it's coming into the fold, and that, to your point, it's almost like it's a new thing, a new toy, so to speak. That
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's a shiny new thing. I didn't even realize it's been here my entire life, and it just snuck up on me, and here we go.
It is, and it's exciting because it's like, you know, we can bring this to Williamsport, and, you know, we're already a place people come to visit for our history and to see the C&O Canal. This just adds another jewel to all of that,
absolutely.
and it's like, it's phenomenal to see the property and to walk through it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, when we do the dedication, that's a lot of what it's about, just letting people walk through and actually see the narrow hallways. You know,
Yes.
There's one part I have to turn sideways to walk through it.
Oh, I
and
bet.
it's
Sure,
like-
you got to duck down.
you got to duck, yeah.
Everyone was
it's-
shorter then, yeah.
And then you get into the distillery, you know, and one of the biggest things with Williamsport is when George Washington came to visit, you know, it was to name Williamsport the capital, is what
Okay.
the Williams
Yep.
family was hoping.
Sure.
You know, which didn't work out, but when you sat there on that property, you can almost envision this is where the conversation happened. Then they went to the distillery for a drink right here at this fireplace, because that fireplace is still there.
Sure.
And still works. And it's
Right.
just puts you in a whole different, like literally the inside of the doors, the outsides were made more like 1800s, and the insides keep that 1700 angled
Right.
wood frame.
Yep.
You know, from arrows sticking into it if they were shot, because it was a Indian site. before
Hotly
it was-
contested.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You said you brought up something about history there with Washington. If I remember correctly, because I attended Williamsport schools all the way from kindergarten through 6th grade.
Oh, nice.
The town of Williamsport was on a short list to be named capital of the United States.
Right.
And Washington, if I'm correct, was basically making the rounds to all of the, we'll call them finalists in today's speak.
Right.
And what were some of the other towns that were up for the running? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
I know, it's been so long.
I used to know them, and I told somebody, it was funny because while he was doing those rounds, he was buying up property in
Sure.
Georgetown.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, so we pretty much knew it was, but he was looking for something in the middle from New York down. You know, and just, I believe, I think Cumberland was on that list too,
Okay.
if I remember right.
Yeah, all these towns that were on this list, but especially Williamsport, because
Yeah.
growing up with that, people always said, well, you know, it was supposed to be the capital. Well, no, it was designed to be
Right.
the capital.
Right.
It was designed with that, it laid out with that in mind as the hope, but obviously didn't work. And
Fingers were crossed.
They always say that, well, look at the street, it's so wide, and well, that's
Yeah,
true,
right.
but that was all part of it.
It was all like a,
Yeah.
you know, "Okay,
Well,
do
maybe
this
if
for
we
me."
do this.
Yeah, you know, and it's like we were going through for purchasing the property. You know, and like I told somebody the last 7 years has been this meeting, and this class, this course. You know,
Sure.
getting to here and then lobbying and being like, well, we don't have the money.
Yeah.
You know, we want you to help us. You know, acquire it. So up and downs
Yeah.
all over the place with it, but they actually have it now. And on the 6th, we have a dedication to go on, which just, it's open right now for the public.
Yeah.
But the buildings aren't regularly open.
Yeah.
They're from the outside. So that day the buildings will be open. I think everybody in town needs to show up
I think that'd be great, yeah.
and walk this property. I mean, there was a set of woods, I guess you'd call it, in the back, overgrown bushes, raspberry plants. All that's gone now. You can look right down from one building and see the next building and see the layout of the whole place. It's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Our guys have worked so hard
Yeah.
trying to do it. So
Well,
yeah.
my next question was going to be something we've essentially already covered, is your hopes for the future of the Springfield Barn as it pertains to the town. Like you said, we could have dining, we could have lodging, we could have both.
Right.
Certainly just big things. So September 6th, encourage everyone to come here and basically say congratulations to the town
Yeah.
for bringing in a piece of a very important, if not the most important piece of the town's history.
Yeah, it is. I told somebody, I was like, it dates back to, you know, pre-Revolutionary War. You know, it has all the history. And it was an American Indian homestead before that. So it's kind of like, it's been here since America's been here.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and our town finally has acquired that property, and that just right there makes the whole thing worth it.
Well, with that much history, it kind of transitions us into the next topic that we're going to be talking about. We've had a really a patch of a week or so of our nights have been about 50 degrees, and it really is making me think of fall. I think it is most people.
Right.
And I think when we think of fall, we think of obviously Thanksgiving, but before we get there, we have Halloween.
Yeah.
And Williamsport is known for its haunted history walks. I've never done one of these. I would like to.
Oh.
They happen each fall, but for someone who's never been, what can we expect on these tours?
A lot of people take it. They come back year after year after year, and we have a lot of stories in Williamsport. You got a lot of history there that we discuss, but we're able to give you not just like the historical story of it, but we can lay it out how Williamsporters talk about it, and what went on factual. And I love that part of them because, you might know how you started your car today, but the bullet point is you just started your car.
Correct.
But on the way, maybe you did this, you did that. So we're able to fill in all the gaps of everything through our minutes. Some of them are in the minutes of the town, that we're able to read and pick up. But we try to do them every Saturday at least during October.
Okay.
I mean, you can expect the entertainment's always at its best. The crowd's very interactive. It's different sizes. We go anywhere from 5 people to 45 people.
Okay.
They
It's a
show up.
walking tour.
It is a walking tour. This year, we're including the Manor House. So we get to change it up a little bit. We have a couple stories from there. Okay. So we're going to, I think the startup will be at Springfield Barn. And we go the barn, the tenant house, and around all the properties. Nice. And we'll have different evidence that relates to that area to show to people.
That's wonderful. Now, is there a charge for this?
Yes, there is. It's been $5 a person for years since we started. We did it to help offset the cost of Halloween night in Williamsport on the front street. Right now they're in discussion of upping the charge because it's just things got more expensive.
Sure they did, yeah.
I'm a stickler for keeping it the same old way. So, and it's a fun time.
So I think you pretty much just hit on this with offsetting the cost of the Halloween, but that is what this goes to. I mean, it's the haunted history walks, and then that little bit of money that you pay, basically a donation, essentially. Right. I think that's great that you would use something so related to Halloween to help with the actual Halloween.
To help with it, yeah. I mean, we're able to buy candy and stuff. We give to the businesses so they can do games and sit outside. Sure. We got hay wagon ride that we pull around just to ride on. It doesn't show nothing. It just rides. People just like riding on a hay wagon.
Yeah,
it's
something you don't get to do every day usually.
Right. So it's a fun time. And in downtown we have a DJ playing music. And all that stuff's going on in the middle. So people that don't want to give out candy, they don't have to. We have enough to keep everybody occupied.
I love that. The town of Williamsport, you guys really do it up right, and you have really brought small town back to small town, and that sense of community in Williamsport. Everyone, look, proud river rat, just by virtue of attending the schools, like I said, K through 6. But the pride that the residents of Williamsport have in Williamsport is second to none. Really.
Yeah, and it's some of the areas that outline us feel the same way. Yeah. Even though they're not in the town limits, we still listen to their voices too, and they come in and they enjoy it and they help us out. I mean, now that we're going into fall, we got a lot going on. We got this dedication. We do the haunted walks. We'll have Halloween night, and we roll right into our Christmas.
Yeah, you do.
After that, and,
big parade. Yeah.
Yeah, and this year, we're not going to talk about it today, but this Christmas is looking pretty good.
Buddy, I'm ready for it. This weather's got me thinking about
it. It does. It has everybody that helps put all this together and work behind the scenes. We're all on, okay, this dedication, what do we want? We want to thank everybody that helped us get here. The governor, the former governor, all of them that got us to this point. Recognize them. We want you to go in, have some light refreshments, see the buildings for what they are, ask as many questions as you can. Everybody that is involved in the property, our workforce, we got a small little crew. So in their, I call it spare time, but to them it's just like, when it's that, but they're up there working on it. And they're taking a lot of pride, and they have a lot of before and after shots of what they did. And I told somebody, when you see the property now, it looks like it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
It's not overgrown. It doesn't have trees here or there. All of that's been taken care of. And it's like, this is what our founder woke up to every day.
Absolutely. You know what we should do? Let's do, after we do the dedication, or after you do the dedication, you and I should at some point set up to do an on-site Let's Talk TriState.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that'd be wonderful. Be great. Give a tour of the facility. and just because we've heard about it, we've talked about it, we've rooted for it and hoped for
Yeah.
it. So I think it's time that we put together a video package that really highlights how important this is, because we can talk about it all we want.
Right.
But when you see it, when you can touch it, when you can be present at it, I think that's a big difference.
It is, you know, and there's some people in town that disagree with, you know, the town owning it. You know, a lot to do with the taxes, the upkeep, how much it costs.
Sure.
And I told somebody, we're cutting costs every which way we turn out there. You know, we're not running much electric at all.
Right.
Some of the structures, they can go from city water to spring water by just turning a lever because they're designed to run off the springs there. You know, which is nice, and on the weekends I mow it.
Yeah.
You know, and I told you know, and everybody just looks at me and it's like, hey, you know, it helps. Every little
That's right.
bit keeps costs down till we figure out as a council what direction this is going to go.
Well, I look at it, you know, I'm president of the homeowners association here at my home in Waynesboro, and also in Ocean City, Maryland. And you will always find me doing things around all the properties, because if I benefit, everyone benefits. If I have a few minutes, why not help out and save myself some money? Right?
Absolutely.
And that's what you're absolutely
us
doing.
And
that.
the guys are doing it. I mean, we're out there. A lot of our one employee, he was like, you know, I'll mow Sunday if you need a break. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, go ahead. You know, he's not going to charge anybody.
That's it. They're not. That's the thing is, when you go on that mower, you're not clocking in and clocking
out.
Nope,
and we're just doing it and having a blast, and to have the TriState conversation out there, it'd be wonderful.
Yep,
that place has a lot to offer, and I hope everybody comes out and sees it and understands that this wasn't, you know, it was tax money, but it wasn't town tax money to say, you know, that did this. We worked with all kinds of groups and lobbying and a lot of trips to the State House, and I told somebody, I'll never forget the day that we got the check, you know, like got approval to get it. You know, and Governor Moore at that time did a stamp, you know, hand deliver to GSA that we get this check for this. And it was like fantastic. You know, former Governor Larry Hogan was the first one that, you know, heard we wanted it, you know, and at the time, the estimation on the house, she wanted more than what, so they're like, we're just going to give you this much. So that was put aside. And it's like, well, how do we get the rest of this? You know, so we're starting again with another governor and learning him. And just the question is asked, why hasn't the town bought this before? And it's like, we don't have the money. You know, and like we just didn't have it. It's like, or we might have.
And when people bring up about taxes and tax money going toward this, I hope they understand, like you said, it's not local tax money. Grants are earmarked, and that money is there solely used for to be able to be granted. And I look at it as, well, if we don't get it,
somebody else will.
Either someone else will, or it just sits there.
Yeah, and most likely one of the other counties, Baltimore County or Montgomery County, they'd have picked it. They'd have got it. You know, so it was like we had to fight for it, and we also had internal discussions on kind of fighting to keep it because we weren't moving quick enough with one half of the monies that Governor Hogan gave us. So there was conversations among, you know, the House to pull that money back from us. We can use it here. And it's like, no, we're going to get this other half. You know, so yeah, it was great. And getting it that day, I think the Baltimore station news was in the room that
WJZ,
day. And I told somebody, I was like, you know, the words slipped out, you know, when they approved it. And I was like, does that mean we just got the, you know, the Manor House? And our lobbyist that was with us, he's like, yeah. And I'm like, you know, and I was like, wow, we did it. You know, and I told somebody, you couldn't have had a better day. I mean, our town managers, both of them, our former town manager, Donnie Stoudemire, started the ball rolling. You know, and then our town manager, Chad Rooney, you know, kept it going. And it was like, and I just kept there.
Kept doing it. Well,
let's go. We need it. You know,
you're the cheerleader.
This is the town's baby here now. You know, and I think it really will be a destination point.
Well, Williamsport, Maryland, certainly a destination point. We are so proud to have them. I don't think that really, you and I talked about this, Mayor, is that our area is so close-knit that we don't look at lines of delineation from Hagerstown to Williamsport. It is all, you know.
One big area.
It is, man. You go, and I think 81 is that you got Chambersburg and you got Hagerstown. Throw in, you know, Waynesboro and Greencastle and all those areas. It's just, we're familiar with, you tell me Artisan Street in Williamsport, I know where that is.
Right.
You know? Just like if you tell me Grant Street in Chambersburg, I know where that is. So it's weird how people, and I'm not unique in that. Many of us are the exact same way.
A lot of us are. Yeah.
But that goes to show you how close our area is, and we thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely, it's great to be here.
Mayor Bill Green from the Town of Williamsport. September 6th is the dedication for the manor, and we certainly hope that you will join the town. I hope to be there to take all this in. Hopefully our weather stays like it is now.
It's supposed to be.
That'd be very nice.
Yeah, calling for a little rain Friday, but Saturday's looking beautiful.
All right, the whole situation is beautiful. Very proud for the town and happy for the town. And we thank you so much for joining us today on Let's Talk TriState.
Let's talk TriState.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk TriState, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.